In case you're experiencing homelessness during the holidays because of domestic violence, or if you work at a domestic violence shelter, watch closely. This video will be life-changing. I'll show you a 5-step process in which you can get your home back for free with no attorneys, and this is not legal advice. I've used this myself to get back this house that I'm sitting in right now recording this video, and so have hundreds of others done successfully. Because I'm respectful of your precious time, the 5-step process is here in front of us in orange, but I'm going to walk you through each step of the process and hold your hand so you can see how I did it so you can do it too. Step 1 is to go to this website, statutefinder.org. Brief overview. A statute is a law in your jurisdiction, in the area that you live, that represents the abuse that you may have suffered. These different actions, these crimes, have a specific codes assigned to them. And this is the vocabulary, if you will, that the court system, that police officers and law enforcement and detectives and lawyers and judges, what they use to communicate and encapsulate the abuse that you survived. So when you got these codes, you're equipped with a lot of leverage to get this into action. So step 1, visit statutefinder.org. You're just going to type that in your browser or click on the link below in the description. We're going to have a mobile app soon too in Google Play and Apple App Store. And that's it. That's step 1. Pretty easy, huh? Everybody can do this. Step 2, tell the chatbot what happened to you. So we're going to see a little chatbot as we scroll down. And I already had a conversation. I'm going to walk you through. And here you're going to chat. You're going to just type in what happened to your situation. And I typed in, she put a GPS tracker in my car and she tried to stab me with a knife because a girl liked my photo on Instagram. So it has empathy. This is anonymous and available 24/7, by the way. I understand your situation you're going through is difficult. So ask me for jurisdiction. I say USA, Arizona, state, and country. Then describe the incident in a little bit more detail. The more detail it has, the better codes it can give you. Trash in, trash out. So be specific as possible. So I said, yeah, she also destroyed my Nike shoes in a jealous outburst. All right, so now it's the golden nuggets. You get the code of aggravated assault. This is so valuable. You used to have to go to an attorney to get this kind of information. You can now get it for free thanks to statutefinder.org and that flyer I showed you here, which you can print and post on the walls of the domestic violence shelters. All right, so you get that code and it explains how it ties to your situation. So the attempt to stab with a knife could potentially be qualified as aggravated assault as it involves the use of a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. So key evidence for this statute law, that's what it means, might include photos or any injuries or witness statements or medical records if applicable, recordings, okay? Statute limitations, that's a term that means how long you have to report a crime. So you have 7 years from the moment of the incident occurred. You can click on the hyperlink and read the full statute yourself. The next statute, another code here, stalking 132923. Placing a GPS tracker in your car without your consent could potentially constitute stalking. Okay, so there's more information on that. Then you can talk about criminal damage, 131602. The destruction of your Nike shoes, very specific to your situation. You see that? Could qualify as criminal damage, which involves reckless defacing or damaging the property of another person. So key evidence would include photos, receipts showing their value, or any witness statements or recordings of the incident. So the statute of limitations, and it talks about the amounts. Very good. It provides you some disclaimers that this is not legal advice, and any of these statutes can apply in your situation. Just list them for your own records, but it cannot tell you which statutes apply or can't or don't apply. So that's the legal disclaimer. So it's up to you to always double check the information. And you should always be your own best seller's advocate. At the end of the day, the advocates are here for us to help us, but we have to be our own best seller's advocates. And this is coming from a survivor that got his home back. That's step 2. Good job. All right. So step number 3, we're going to write down the codes of the laws, statutes that your abuser broke. All right, so for that, I'm just going to pull up a little Word document because I'm on my desktop computer, but you can pull up on your phone the little notepad. Same thing. I'm just going to, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to copy the whole conversation with the chatbot. I just did Command A, copy the whole thing. You just select the whole thing and just paste it, right? Simple copy and paste. All right. The font is a little small, so I'm going to make it bigger for you. I'm just going to scroll to the part that it talks about the actual statute codes. So this is our conversation with the chatbot. There it goes. So aggravated assault. So from here all the way down to there. So I'm going to copy that and then paste it, right? So now I have the things that I care about. I'm going to delete the steps. I don't need that. I'm doing this with you in real time so you can see how simple this is, that everyone can do this, guys. Everyone. Stalking. and criminal damage. All right, so I'm going to put numbers next to them. So this is number 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. So these are my 3 codes that I got. All right. And I'm also going to grab what I wrote in the chat, the first message, because I told my story and the judge is going to want to hear the story a little bit, not just the codes. So I'm going to put my story up here. So simple. Tell your story, cite the codes, show evidence, which is the next step I'll show you in a moment. All right. Now we are done with step number 3. Step 4. We're going to go to court and ask for an order of protection with exclusive property rights. That's the part that most people don't know about, and it's free. Show the judge the statute codes, which we have right here. Remember, we have those codes right there. And evidence of the abuse you suffered, like photos, videos, texts, recordings, witnesses, all that stuff. That shows the proof. So you can actually ask the chat where to go, what website, the web place you need to go to. So I told it, I live in Mesa, Arizona. Where do I go to file an order of protection with exclusive property rights? Give me the link. So he told me that I can go to the Mesa Municipal Court, gives me the location right there, or the phone number, and file the order of protection, which includes provisions for exclusive residential share. Right, and it gives me the website. But I don't want to drive. I actually want to get this done now. So I asked the chat again, can I request an order of protection online in Arizona instantly? It says yes. In Arizona, you can request it using this website right here, and it gives me steps on how to use this website. Very straightforward, guys. So I click on that website, takes me here, and here I'm able to file an order of protection. So let's do it together. Cell phone, 602. We're just going to answer the questions, all right? Okay, so now we're going to type in the defendant's information. The applications are different, but it's going to ask you, are there any other requests you're asking the court to make to protect you from the defendant? Now, this is your chance to ask them for the order of protection with exclusive property rights. So I'm going to say, I humbly and respectfully ask the judge to please grant me an order of protection with exclusive property rights. You have to ask for this, all right? Exclusive property rights. Remember that. This section is called Incident History. Now it's going to ask you, briefly describe the incident. Remember what we had in our Google Doc up here? She put a GPS tracker in my car and tried to stab me with a knife because a girl liked my photo on Instagram. I just grabbed that and I copied and pasted it right here, right? This is what happened. And now I grabbed the statute codes and the evidence and I pasted, remember the 1, the 2, and the 3? I just pasted that right here. Aggravated assault. I give the judge the code. This is their language. Make it very easy for them to match and approve what I'm requesting. So she attempted to stab, could potentially qualify, right? And I think it'll be valuable for us to also put the evidence. We're doing this together in real time, showing you how fast, how simple this can be. All right, so I'm going to change the attempt to stab me, first person, with a knife could qualify as aggravated assault as it involves the use of a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument against me. Boom, just edit a couple words right there, right? Make it easy for the judge. They've been looking at a lot of order protections all day. Match, sign, next. I want to make it easy for them. Key evidence for this statute may include photos of any injuries. Okay, so if this is true, do not lie, because you can get, if you lie, then that's a crime, and the chatbot says that. So if you have evidence, let the judge know, I have this evidence. So I say, I'm going to put evidence, : I have photos in my iPhone with bruises. I'm just an everyday person doing this. And so if I can do it, so can you. It's like the story of David in the Bible. It should be an inspiration for all of us. So I have photos in my phone with bruises and marks from attempted stabbing attempts. So evidence number 2, I have witness statements from my neighbor, Miss Basilica. She can be reached at this phone number, so get permission from the witness so you can list her contact. And evidence number 3, I have medical records from Banner Health Hospital. All right, moving on to number 2. This is the stalking one, and I typed this out to make for respect out of your time, and I edited a few things, so without my consent, and it would cost me, a reasonable person, to feel for their safety, just basically what the chatbot said, and listen the evidence I have, a time-stamped photo from this date at this time where she's installing the tracker in my car. Evidence number 2, audio recordings where she says, I'm tracking you and I'm going to stab you at the park, any kind of threat that they say. and you give the judge the minute, and you can say, I have MP3 recording. I can share with the court at your request. Very open, very willing to share this information, making it super easy for them to grant you this order. And you're essentially making this order protection bulletproof. It's going to be very difficult to contest this with all your statute codes and evidence. Then the next one is criminal damage. The statute code, the destruction of my Nike shoes. So change it to my Nike shoes, not the Nike shoes. And I just list a couple evidence, audio recordings. Again, just list the little audio, the minutes. We're going to do this again. So boom, copy, paste. That's going to be what? 604 to 740, whatever the duration was. And the torn Nike shoes in a photo. You're done. So you're going to submit that. And what is our final step? After the court approves this, you'll get contacted or you'll go in person. You're going to have to call police. Step 5. You're going to call police and request to serve the order of protection and evict the abuser. All right? So when the police, you're going to have to go outside your house, make sure that they're there at the house. You're going to call police, tell them the person is home. I want you to enforce this order. This is what I did. I want you to enforce this order of protection with exclusive property rights that was signed and approved by a judge. In case you get any pushback from the police, because they're very busy doing important things, look, this is signed and approved by a judge. Are you going to go against an order signature from a judge? And they're going to say no. So they're going to come and then they're going to evict the abuser out of the house. Now, if you're in a situation like I was, which is a female abuser, and they seem rather vulnerable and they seem like they can't harm anyone, they can be very deceptive. From my situation, I specifically asked the officers to do what's called a standby, which means the police are going to stay until the person is extracted from the residence. And I recommend that, especially for all the males watching this, because when female abusers can be notorious for fabricating false accusations against us. And I wanted a plethora of police officers with their body-worn cameras recording this of her going down the stairs from the apartment complex to make sure that everyone sees that I did not do anything to this woman, because she was capable of throwing herself down the stairs and claiming it was me. So that's a smart move that you should probably utilize and implement. I'll share a little bit about my personal story. The officers told me that they did not want to stand by. They had other better things to do. And I told them, sir, I am a tax-paying citizen, and I demand that you stay here while this person is fully evicted and the law is enforced. So they gave me a little bit of attitude, and I love police, but they stayed there, and she finally left, and I had the house that I'm sitting in right now to myself. If you stuck around till the end, congratulations. You can find all this information by going to our website, statutefinder.org. You go to the Order of Protection, OOP. This website will probably change by the time you see this again. And here you have these flyers that you can download en español e inglés, ambos idiomas. And you can put on the domestic violence shelters, send to a friend, and share this resource with other domestic violence advocates. Send them over to statutefinder.org. Knowing your statutes is truly indispensable as a survivor, and it'll give you a ton of leverage. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and share with a domestic violence advocate. statutefinder.org.